there is so much fear right now, like so much fear on so many different levels. And I've been seeing all this post about raising your prices, and even businesses saying, hey, because of inflation, we're gonna raise our, services up X amount, or we're gonna raise our, like I go to like a local drive-through coffee shop, right? They're raising the prices too, and all these different things going on. And today's episode, I just really wanted to take you a little bit into different mindset, or like just mindfulness to practice as we're barely in a few days into February, about not listening to all the fear-based and really being diligent about doing your own homework, being diligent about looking at your numbers, looking at the data, so you make data-driven decisions, okay? And I'm also gonna be sharing with you today, so I don't just manage my business. I have helped my husband, because, during 20, we're mostly shut down, and I'm like, well, someone needs to work, and he was the only one allowed to work. Let's grow your business. So this is literally coming from how I grew his business, how I've grown my own business. Like even last year, I grew mine 73%. So it's just all these different things, right? And the importance of this up here, right? And being also this, focus on your lane. So I want you to think your business is a highway, okay? So we have a 101 highway here. I live in California, Northern California. And so, oh my gosh, my dog scared me. I apologize, that's my dog. So we have a 101 highway, and no matter what entrance you come in, it's 101, okay? You go there fast and you have to drive 65 or plus depending on what area you're at. Our business are like that. So no matter what cars are getting into the lane, no matter how many different cities we're passing, we have to be so focused on our lifestyle. We have to be focused on our business and really make it data-driven decisions versus fear-based or what's popular or what everybody's saying. So in today's episode, I just want to share what I did with mine. So first of all, before all this stuff happened with the whole inflation thing, I looked at my numbers and my conversion is too high. So I know some of you will be like, Celeste, you crazy. I'm like, no, I'm not crazy. So this has been something that I've had to teach my husband, and I had to take some of my own medicine, okay? You cannot, if you're getting every single job or every single proposal that you're sending out, or you're getting every single client, as soon as you tell them your price, you're clearly underpricing yourself, okay? And it's a hard reality and truth, but after listening to just different people and doing my own research, like most people don't get all the business, okay? Like unless you wanna be like drive-through status, and even drive-through status, like, just for lack of a better example, like there's Starbucks, right? Like their coffees now are close to $7, okay? But now you can choose whatever milk. Or you can just go to like a local coffee shop and you can pay from like also $5 to $7, but the perspective of value is different, right? So let me share this with you. I went to this one coffee shop in Healdsburg, which is like a couple of minutes away from my house, a couple of cities down. And it was like named in New York Times, like one of the best bakeries, okay? And the service was amazing. They helped me and everything. And I ordered a coffee, okay? And the coffee ended up being $7. It took longer to make, but seeing the process of how they made it and the taste of it was delicious. I was like, hell yeah. If you tell me, Celeste, would you go pay $7 for that coffee again? I'll be like, yes, please. Actually, that sounds perfect today, but I'm not driving in this rain out there. But, that's the moral of the story, right? Like, perceived value. Like, although they get to charge those $7, they also have that brand recognition. They also have the different support systems behind them, right? Like that article from the New York Times, and they got an article from a local newspaper as well. And all this stuff that has, and also the area that's at, like they have all these different factors that caters to that, okay? Now, an hour and a half away from here, my sister lives, and the cost of services are so much cheaper. But also the cost of living is like, honestly, probably like 40%, no, it's probably like 50% cheaper than where I would live at. And that's relative, right? So if I was to go up there and try to charge what I charge here, it wouldn't be relative. So we need to start thinking about that. Rather than saying what everybody's doing, what everybody's telling you to do, like what is really cost effective for you in your area, right? An area where houses are being sold for $300,000 is going to be different than an area that you're, paying $700,000, $800,000, $1 million for a house, right? Like the relative cost of living is going to be totally different. Like I've lived in all types of different locations and price points, and I've learned this too, from renting before I owned a home. I've learned that. And also location, right? Like depending where you rent and how the upkeep, all those things come into factor how much you pay, correct? So rather than being fear-based, how about let's make some data-driven decisions? So in my business, I went up in pricing and I did a 10% increase on one service. And then in the other one, I did a 13.5% increase on the other one. So that was driven because I was doing a 75% conversion and that's too high. And I know some people, they would love to do that, but for me, that was way too high. And also I was starting to notice like I was getting really booked up and stuff. But sometimes like we need to get out of our own head. Like even for me, like sometimes I get into my head, you know, like I'm a human being and I want you to know that you're not alone. So if you're like, well, everybody, like nobody deals with this, it's just me. It's not just you. Like it can be different people that deal with this that don't talk about it, but I'm here to talk about it with you. So that was a data-driven decision, right? So we were very like clear on that. So then after that, you know, like, so that's one thing I did. So I did all this because my new year doesn't start until March. I told you I'm weird. But I was like, okay, well, we're gonna do the changes. I did the percentages, I did everything. Okay, this is good. And then I had to get into the mindset of like, I'm gonna start hearing more no's than I'm used to, and it's gonna be okay. I cannot freak out. I cannot lower my prices. Like this makes sense, you know, like even like before this whole thing happened, like the cost of even like bobby pins is insane. Like it went up $3 like per bobby pin things, you know, and the ones I use only 50 come in a pack. So I was like, really $3 more, you know, and not just that, the hairspray, like all these different things, gas, insurance, all the things, like you have to think about everything, your booking system, like you need to add up everything that goes into running your business. Cause sometimes we forget, right? Like, oh, it's just the car or it's just the oil change. No, like you're putting wear and tear on your stuff too. It all added up. So that's where I got my percentage. So my question to you is that, have you done that for yourself? And if you're not good with numbers and you're like, I have no clue how to do that, like hire somebody to help you. Hire a CPA, hire an accountant, hire somebody that is actually focused and knows that stuff. Honestly, we would have not bought this house if it wasn't that our CPA told us like we had to, like it was like a business driven decision. I know for a lot of people, they think like we're dumb and like, my gosh, she overpaid for the house and blah, but it was a data driven business decision, right? Like we had to, like it was just, it made money sense, you know? So it was a money driven decision. So you need to start making like data driven decisions, like also in your business. Okay. So not because everybody is raising it $10, $50, $100 means that you should be doing the same, right? So if you're barely getting any clientele, a raise right now, it's not, it's not probably not the best business decision. If I was in somebody's shoes, like, oh my gosh, I don't have that much clientele and everybody's raising their prices. For me, I would be looking at my book of business. What's the most requested, like top 3 services that are being requested from me that I'm doing and making money off? Take the rest off my book of business, you know, of my list menu. It ain't gonna look fancy, but it's gonna make you dollars. You're already making money off those 3 services, and that's what I would stick with, you know? Like, and those are hard things to do. Like, trust me, when I had to let go of my clientele, it broke my heart. Not having to be able to blonde anymore after I worked so hard and went to so much education to learn that literally broke my heart, but I had to get over it. It was years that it took for me to get over it, but I had to. I'm like, there's no possible health-wise I could do that anymore. Like I just couldn't. And I am not the type of person to be out of integrity that for money, I'm just gonna settle and give like half-ass job. Like it's just not who I am. So those are the parts where I say like sometimes we need to really make those hard data-driven decisions, right? And with all this like fear-based right now, raise your prices. Like I just really want to welcome you to like look at your business, like look at your numbers. Like most booking platforms now will tell you what each client, like the average that each client spends in your business is. They'll tell you what your top services are. The frequency that people come in for those services. Like there's so much information on there. And we are human, okay? Like shiny syndrome object, like stuff is real. And like even my house, if you can see, like it's very simple and it's very clean because I have 3 kids and I have a business and I help my husband, you know, and I like keeping my house clean. It gives my mental space, happiness, and peace. So in order to do that, I cannot have a lot of crap. And even when like, let's say for example, you see that table right there that I'm pointing at right now. So she's really pretty, but she's actually made out of real wood, quality wood. It's 6 chairs and it's real wood table, and she was $275 at a thrift store. I wanted to buy a real table, okay, like a real wood table too, custom made, and that one was gonna be like $1,050 just for the table, okay, not including the chairs. Each of the chairs was $300. So that's where I mean, like, those are the times, like, even in our own lives, okay, we have to make data-driven decisions. For us right now, like, our house needs some things to get done, and one of the priority ones was electricity. Like, literally, we don't have a main shut-off box, and that was, like, a major, like, red flag when we got the house. Like, you guys have to do that, right? And that's not cheap, okay? It's not cheap. And when the electrician did it, he showed us the cable. It was literally melting off and it was sparking. So thank goodness we did that. And part of that, you know, data-driven decision and money decision was like, okay, instead of paying thousands of dollars on like a cool table that I really want, I'm gonna go find a pretty table, be patient, and I finally found her. So she's in my house now, right? And she still looks pretty, she still looks clean, she looks pretty new. You know, I probably took like 2 hours cleaning her and everything and detailing her, but she looks gorgeous. Like, I love it, I love it. I think I did a good job with that, fine. But those are the times where I think it's also like learning how to exercise your business, like common, like data-driven decisions also in your life is gonna help you so much. We want nice things, okay? Like, I would love a nicer, newer car, a bigger SUV. Like, you know, there's so many things I would like, right? But like, is it really the smart move right now? No, like, it's so nice to, you know, own cars that I don't have any car payments to. Like, it's beautiful. I love not having a car payment. And those are, but also that, with that comes sacrifices, right? And also it's not allowing to be emotionally driven as a human being. Yeah, I can be like, damn, I would love a black SUV, the certain SUV that I want. But you know what? It's not gonna happen right now. Like, I don't need it right now. I have 3 cars. We have an extra vehicle. Like, we use all of them. We have our commuter car. We have my husband has his work vehicle. I have my work one, and the kids driving around. So I'm like, we're good. Like, we have 3 vehicles. We don't need anything else, right? So even with business, like, don't allow everybody else's emotions to make your business decisions for you. It's so easy, and it's been so hard for me too. It's easy to fall into, you know, the buy. Like, if you need something, buy it. If you're missing something, buy it, right? Like, even with courses, like, oh, you don't know how to do this, buy the course. Like, it's gonna help you, right? And it has taken so much work for me to even know, like, is this really like worth the investment, right? And is this the right move for me? Like, learning more is now is going to help you. Sometimes it's just doing the thing and practicing doing the thing, right? That's going to get you better. It's important to take time to just sit with yourself and see, like, what are the data-driven decisions that I need to take to my business right now? Is it the right time to do an increase right now? Or is it not, right? How much should I really do the increase by, right? Like, what expenses have gone up, and what do I really need to increase my services so that I can be profitable and also maintain my lifestyle and also keep up with the increase of cost of what it takes to run your business. So I just invite you to look at all that, look at your numbers, and if you're not a numbers person, hire somebody. Like, honestly, we just got to the point, like, we're like, take care of all this stuff because it's just getting to be too much for us. And we did, and I love it. Yes, it comes with a cost, but it has brought so much peace of mind. And, you know, like, I did an episode last year, and we talked about this. Who is in your money team, right? And an accountant or CPA, somebody who knows numbers and understands the laws of, like, taxes and all this stuff, because it varies state from state, right? And even the tax bracket varies from county to county. I've seen it on my receipts when I buy stuff. It's just little stuff I pay attention to. It's so important that we have people that are actually knowledgeable in that. So before we, like, giving into the fear-based things, before we make decisions out of emotion, it's so important, like, look at the data and make decisions off that. So with that, what would I be doing with my lifestyle this year? So I just wanted to share this to kind of, like, encourage you. Like, if you're like, you know what, like, what are you going to be doing with your lifestyle this year? It's going to be different. So these are some of the things that I will be doing that are different this year. So for my lifestyle this year, I will be being more mindful. So I really love, I heard this like maybe like 3 days ago. And I love this, like be mindful what you bring into your home, right? So it's so easy. Like I love like some new stuff and everything, but when you go into the mindset of like being mindful, like what am I bringing into my home? It changes it for me. I'm no longer just gonna go buy a candle for the heck of it. I literally have a candle burning back there because it smells like fall and it brings me happiness, and it's raining today. So it's like the perfect candle for the mood. And like she was on sale and I bought her a couple months ago, so I'm burning her today. But like it's being mindful of what I bring into my house, right? If I don't need it, I don't need to buy it. And that has been something that has, I mean, let's be real. Sometimes people be like, you're so cheap. And it's not that you're cheap. It's like you're being mindful how you're spending your money, right? And also for that, it's also like have your emergency fund, right? Like, God forbid something happens, or, you get, things have happened to us in our life. Even my husband, where he's had to have surgery. He had to have an emergency surgery, and we weren't prepared for that. And he was out of work for 2 months, but because we had savings, and it happened during Christmas time, it was a couple years ago, we were able to pay rent, buy Christmas presents for everybody, have him home, buy our groceries, pay everything, and be comfortable because we had that emergency fund. So have an emergency fund for your business, have an emergency fund for your personal life, and just remember, like we don't need to keep up with anybody. That we realize that not all hard things that happen to us are for bad. That sometimes it's also like, what is our ego wanting, right? It's not about being fear-based. It's more like, okay, like what do I need to take priority right now? The freedom to go pick up my kids, drop them off. And with that has also come with also like what we're talking about today, data-driven decisions, right? That I know when to work, how much to work to bring in the income that I want for my lifestyle, that I want for my family, that brings me joy in my business. It may not make sense for everybody else. It may not be what's trending. There's maybe other businesses that are growing more and doing more, and I'm so happy for them. But that is not my life goal. Go back to the drawing board before you increase any of your rates, or like you fall into it's like, oh my gosh, do I have to increase, and how much, and do I follow what everybody else is doing? Really look at your numbers to make sure what you're doing, because it's really beautiful to be able to see. Sometimes we're so focused on just grow, 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 grow. We forget to like just sit down and look how far we've come. So look how far you've come. Look how much you grew last year. Look how much you like actually profited last year, right? Look at ways that, it's not always about making money. Like I always tell like a lot of people like close to me that always ask me for money advice. I'm like, I feel like the key to success with money is that it's not about make more, spend more. It's about if you make more, you retain more by being mindful with your money, right? And also like always see like ways to cut back. Like I'm always looking at ways like, okay, like maybe I was watching Netflix 24/7 before, but now they suck and I want to cancel it, right? So it's no longer fitting for my lifestyle. Maybe I was spending $75 on coffee every month, and I'm like, okay, like that's really dumb. Or like, right now with everything going on, maybe I should just cut those little extras and cut it down to maybe $20 a month, right? So it's just like those little things that we can do in our business. In our business, like maybe we have like 5 extra, cans of hairspray, or when we only really need 2, or 1 extra can of hairspray in case of emergencies or whatever. Like all those little things really add up. So just be very mindful with your business. Don't allow fear to overtake it. And remember, like you don't have to start anything new when everybody's doing it. I think that has been one of like my biggest advice that I would give you, like now going into like, it's freaking insane. In September, it's going to be 9 years since I enrolled in beauty school. And I started doing hair and everything. My biggest advice to you is like focus on what makes you happy. Focus on growing your business based on data-driven decisions, and also like what kind of lifestyle that you want, because your lifestyle needs are going to be individual from everybody else. I know not everybody has 3 kids, not everybody has a husband or a dog who was being annoying today. We all live in different parts of the states, or or the country, or the world, and our needs are different and vary from people to people. So instead of keeping up with the Joneses, Keep up with your dreams, keep up with your goals, and make data-driven decisions. I hope this episode was helpful for you. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I'll see you back here next time. Bye, love.